Welcome back, boys and girls. I hope your first week of at least for the school year, first week of summer break went well. Feeling a little more rested than I did last week. But we were in the book of Job, and we had talked about last week how Job had everything, okay? He had so much wealth. He had 10 kids, a happy family, and he did what was right. Then we got a glimpse into heaven of God and Satan having a conversation, and God gave permission to Satan to take everything away from Job, but he couldn't touch Job. And then what happened, boys and girls? Job still did what was right. So how do you think Satan feels about this? Peter, you don't know? All right, we better read and find out, because you know what? We're going to jump into another meeting in heaven. Job chapter 2, verse number 1. Again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them to present himself before the Lord. And the Lord said unto Satan, From whence comest thou? We've heard that before, haven't we, boys and girls? And Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. So, same answer. He's been walking around in the earth. Verse number 3, And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil? Remember, boys and girls, that means to avoid evil. Some of you have the reputation of running to evil. We should run away from evil. And still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou movest me against him to destroy him without cause. So even though you had us destroy his wealth, you had me destroy his wealth, for no reason, for no cause, he's still doing what's right. Verse number 4, And Satan answered the Lord and said, Skin for skin, yea, all that a man hath will he give for his life. He's like, yeah, but you told me I couldn't touch him. Anybody could give up possessions, but what about if I touch him, his life? What if he gets touched? Verse number 5, But put forth thine hand now and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face. He goes, you know what? You make him sick, he's going to curse you. At least that's what Satan thinks. Verse number 8, And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, he is in thine hand, but save his life. So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot unto his crown. And he took him a potsherd to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes. Boys and girls, I've never had boils. I've had poison ivy before, and I know how crazy it is to itch. And to itch even in a few places. I cannot imagine your entire body feeling miserable because of a sickness, a sore. But that's what Job was going through. From his head to his toe, he was covered in boils. So boys and girls, Satan says Job's going to curse God. God doesn't think so, but what do you think Job's response will be? Or what about his wife? We haven't mentioned her yet. We've mentioned the children died, but his wife didn't. What's his wife's response going to be? Well, of course, we need to read on and find out. Let's read in verse 9 and see what his wife has to say about it. Then said his wife unto him, Dost thou still retain thine integrity? Curse God and die. She's like, wouldn't it be better to just reject God and die? Just end this. What do you think Job's response is going to be? I mean, his wife, the person who's supposed to be encouraging him, his helper, this person who's supposed to help him says, curse God and die. Verse number 10, But he said unto her, Thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of God, and shall we not receive evil? In all this did not Job sin with his lips. So boys and girls, his wife says, reject God and die. Satan has touched his health, and yet Job won't. Verse 11 gets into his friends. And I was going to start that, but you know what? I think we'll save his friends till next week. We'll find out what his friends have to say about this. But boys and girls, in all of this, Job avoids the evil. Job is upright, and he fears God and worships him. Whether it's going well, whether he loses physical possessions, whether people close to him die, or whether he becomes sick, just miserable sick, boys and girls, Maybe you've gotten bug bites before, and sometimes we get them all over our legs or we get them all over our arms, but magnify that a lot. I don't even know how many times to tell you to magnify that. Would be the boils that were from his head to his toes. And yet, boys and girls, he did what was right. He stayed faithful to God. I hope to this summer, whatever comes your way, that you will stay faithful